We're a little fucking high right now, but we're going to get through it.
I'm so bummed. I was thinking about going to Hawaii the other day, and then this volcano happened. I'm like, of all the times.
Dude, I was there.
Oh, you were there when it happened?
I was in Lanai. I was on one of the other islands.
Did you feel the earthquake?
No, I didn't feel it. It's, it's separated by quite a lot. There's a lot of water in the way. The big earthquake happened actually after the plane took off. So we were in the air when the big one hit. Oh. Yeah, which it's apparently a big one, like a 5.9.
No, I think it was even more than that.
Was it? 6? Oh. Yeah, oh, right. They had a big one, and then they had a fucking really big one. Wow. Like 5.9's big. I think the way it works, I'm sure someone will correct me here. I think the way it works is a 5.6 is like really powerful, but a 5.7 is twice as powerful. Then a 5.8 is twice as powerful as that. So when you get up to 7, like that's some world-changing shit.
It's actually 6.9.
Oh my god,
that's insane.
Oh my god,
can you imagine being on the?
Oh my god, it was that powerful. That's so big. That's such a big earthquake, man. Did you see the? I put it up. It's so funny, dude. You put up anything that's from CNN, and people, why don't you put it up from a verifiable source, not CNN? CNN's bullshit. It's a video, you fucking asshole. It's a video of lava eating a car.
Yeah, Mustang.
What do you think? CNN faked it? I'd like to see conclusive evidence that CNN's not full of shit, and then I'll go to their website.
Stupid.
Dude, people are so goofy. They're so goofy with this fake news shit. It's lava. It ate a car. It happened. Did you see the video?
Yeah. It ate the white car.
Yeah. Pull that shit up.
I think it's cool that that car's forever going to be in rock. So like when we all die in like the future, like people can like find this car.
Oh, it's broken down to the bare elements at this point. I'm assuming it just got completely melted.
I wonder.
They say that stuff is 2,000 degrees, and it's so hot, but it's molten rock. So like if it didn't burn through your feet, or like if you weren't flammable at all for some strange reason, you could actually walk on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like I thought you would just sink in it, but no. And apparently it's cooling like right after it gets out of the surface. Oh, this is so crazy. This is like a monster. So we're watching this lava flow on Hawaii's Big Island. I like how Jamie went with CBS News. Fuck CNN, bro. Fuck that fake news.
Actually, Brandon Clement got the video.
Oh, powerful Brandon Clement. Yeah. But this guy, whoever he is a bad motherfucker because look what he was next to. He was filming this. I mean, he was near this thing. Oh my God, like imagine being on that street and staying. What kind of a crazy fuck you have to be on that street and stay?
And then a 6.9 hits during all this.
Dude, that's so big. That's such a crazy earthquake. But they live on a volcano. I mean, it's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't want to live on the Big Island. So shit like this, yeah, that splatter one's crazy. There's a fissure in this neighborhood. There's a subdivision out there, something estates, I forget what it is. But their fucking neighborhood, dude, the ground opened up in their neighborhood. I mean, if you lived, thousands of years ago, this would be an angry god coming to attack your village. Could you imagine if normal days you're in Hawaii, you're in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. You're just chilling and the sun is perfect and you see in the ocean, you're hearing the seagulls and you see dolphins and shit. And then the ground opens up and hell starts pouring out. Eats your house, eats your Mustang. Fuck. And they were talking about it today on the news. They're like, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing. They're like, you can't pour water on it? Nope. Can't do shit. You're not going to stop it. It's too big. He was like way deep in the tax. Oh, he got caught with an uppercut. Yeah. Nice uppercut by Canelo. He was definitely like in big tax trouble before, but got bailed out with a fight in the past.
You think they rematch? I think they rematch.
They should. Why not? I think Conor would have to beat somebody good in a boxing match. And he would also have to have a real training camp.
I think boxing's over for Conor.
Oh, I don't think so.
No, there's one more fight like that because
Sure.
people will buy
Fight
it now
like
because
that?
Conor went to the 10th round. He got fatigued. There's still a motive for people to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, look, he had the very first fight against the greatest ever. And
There's so many
he
big
didn't
fights
look
in
too
MMA.
bad. You're right.
There's
You're
so
right.
many fights.
No, you're right. There's that too. But the thing is, if there's a legit big fight, like say if Canelo Alvarez steps up and says that he wants to fight Conor McGregor.
I don't think Conor will do it.
He might. He
I
might. It
think
wouldn't
maybe
be a
Conor
smart
realized.
move.
I think Conor maybe realized you got to specialize.
Well,
You can't do both.
especially the difference between Canelo and Floyd. Floyd was just a brilliant boxer. Canelo's a murderous puncher, and he'll fuck you up. He'll hurt you.
There's also a promotional difference too. Conor and Floyd are pretty much they're very similar guys, and they both understood what they were doing promotion-wise. I don't know
Right.
if Canelo is that guy.
Well, he's not going to promote it that way, but he's got, oh, look at that uppercut. That shit's genius. He's got the support of the American people.
What
That
about
is-
Golovkin versus McGregor?
Ooh, look at that uppercut.
He would do it.
I don't know if McGregor would take that fight.
No, that's not a good fight for him either. Neither Canelo or Golovkin's a good fight for him. It's a terrible fight for him. Those guys are different. They're this, you know. Like look at the way these guys fight.
I watch football.
That's it.
Yep.
Do you worry about brain damage?
Yeah, because it's going to ruin the NFL.
Do you look at it differently?
It's going to take
That's
my
what he-
sport away.
Do you look at it differently than you did like before that concussion movie?
Well, I played high school football. I've got hit so hard that I've seen stars and that kind of stuff. But I think that could happen. I don't look at it differently to answer your question. No. I think that it you know, they might change the helmets, and they've tried that over the years. Do you remember like when it was just leather helmets? There was less concussions because you would not lead with your head.
Exactly.
Now you have a weapon on your head, and people have used it as such. And so I would love, you know how they do throwback uniforms? Let's go throwback equipment.
You'd have
Let's
to
put the leather
change-
helmet back on. Take that stupid face mask off.
You really should, but you'd have to change so much. You'd have to change so much in the way people. There's so many different factors. The way they practice, the way they set up plays.
Yeah.
It would have to be a new game. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the perception of the helmet being safer fucked the game up.
Yeah.
I really think it did.
Oh, right.
I used to think that bare knuckle boxing, that like they should have bare knuckles in the UFC. But then I've been watching this bare knuckle boxing stuff, and people get cut up so bad. Now I'm thinking, you know what? It's better to have padded knuckles. It's better.
Yeah.
It's better for the fighters.
Well, the
for
helmets,
their
the leather
careers.
helmets were padded. They just weren't like a hard shell. And
Yeah.
that shell is what made it,
Yeah.
you used it as a weapon. So
That's literally the only way you're going to be able to stop some of this brain damage.
Yeah.
And you're still not going to be able to stop it all.
Yeah.
They're still colliding into each other. They
Right.
say these guys are getting brain damage from getting hit in the chest.
yeah.
They're getting hit in the chest, and their head snaps back, and their brain's swashing around inside their skull.
Well, they're changing. I think maybe like in younger, like little league now. It's like you can't do tackle football until a certain age. So now everyone's, it's all flag football until a certain age. I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
That'll probably happen. And then, yeah, and then the practices will be different. Where we only do pads once a week.
Well,
Save it for the real game.
What would be amazing if they ever came up with something that definitively fixed it, like some stem cell treatment or something like that regenerated brain tissue and bring you back to your normal state.
Right.
If they do that, then we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Right.
But until that, man,
But that's got to be around the corner. That's close.
I think that's a very complex question of how to regenerate neural tissue, brain tissue, how to get rid of all those abscesses and all those things that you see in those people's brains that have CTE. They develop these like holes in their brain.
Yeah.
It's serious shit.
Yeah.
It's wild ass sport though.
Did you play football ever?
No.
No.
No, I wrestled in high school. I was little, man. I wasn't that. I wrestled 134 pounds.
Yeah, but
And,
you could have been a good running back.
What the fuck out of here? There was another dude.
Oh, some of the fastest guys are small and just,
I wasn't that fast a runner. I was fast kicking and punching
Like
and stuff,
fullback.
but I wasn't really that fast a runner. I didn't do a lot of running. But when I was in high school, when I was wrestling, they were trying to tell me to, like the Coach Murphy, he was also the wrestling coach. He was also the football coach. And he's like, "Oh, come on, you're a sick fuck. You should play football."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dude, that guy plays football." We had our heavyweight. His name was Bobby Baker. He was 300 pounds. He was enormous. He was so big. I was like, "He's not squashing me. The fuck out of here."
The hardest I've ever been hit was by a little dude in practice. Probably like 5'7", and he was a DB, and it was a practice, so I was like third string running back, and they're like, I was just running up the gut, and I was falling into the end zone, right? It was over. And this kid, he had a running start, like 20-yard head start. And it was like he came up from out of the ground and went, foul, and knocked me back up.
Whoa.
And that's the hardest I've ever been hit was by a little guy. So you
Just
know,
think about a
speed,
human
momentum.
torpedo.
Yeah.
You're like a
What?
human torpedo.
Yeah.
With a hard helmet
and that's
on.
what he led with that helmet.
But you know how fast like a really good athlete can run, and just think of all that mass behind them and just
Yeah.
crash.
Yeah, yeah.
The way those guys get hit and the amount of force behind them getting hit is probably unlike anything in sports other than a car accident.
Right.
Other than
It's
like
fun to watch.
NASCAR. Yeah. But it is interesting. I mean, it's like the good aspects of it are, I'm sure, far outweigh the negatives. You know, most people are just enjoying themselves, meeting nice people, meeting like-minded people, traveling around. Like my fear, obviously humor aside, but my fears are probably fairly unfounded, right? But isn't that kind of how it is with life? Like most people that you meet, like the vast majority of people, are really pretty nice. Like this is
Well intentioned.
yeah, it's a really safe time to be a person. You know, I mean, almost all interactions you have with people on a daily basis are safe and fairly friendly. Even like rude people are like, what's the big deal? They say a word. You know, like almost
They're not going to harm you.
yeah, almost nothing happens most of the time. But we're so obsessed with the news, where you tune in to any news channel, all you're getting is the collective bad news of
Shock.
7 billion people, because that's what sells. If it bleeds, it leads. Run with it, Mike. And Mike runs with it. Yeah, I mean, that's actually a very, when you really look at it that way, that's a very positive trend that people are doing this and hosting people.
Shared economy.
Yeah. That's really nice. It's nice that people will offer up their couch for free.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. So do you ever stop and think, like, what if I hadn't gone on this journey of exploration and I stayed an accountant, and you would be living that life of the droning existence where every day you just fucking showing up at the same place and crunching numbers and hating life and wishing for some kind of adventure or something different?
No, I can't relate to that. I think no matter what, whether it was AT or something, I think I would have, I'm too impatient, I get bored too easily. Something, I would have done something.
But a lot of people don't. A lot of people are like you, and they just never make that move. They never take that chance.
So yeah, I think when I talk to even a lot of my friends that are still doing, I'm not going to call them crappy jobs, but because I think they do provide a lot of things that they like. Security. You can't. Some people love that security, like getting a paycheck.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't think they view it like that. It's not like, oh, this may not be the best thing, but I like it. It's not like I don't know. It's like some people think this is so bad, or I just can't. I just have to. Like I just don't think that threshold ever crosses most people.
Yeah. Well, people vary. The personality types that go on that trail. I mean, that's like a very, very extreme personality type. But I think most people have a certain amount of, if not wanderlust, at least curiosity. It's just a matter of how much of it do you nurture? How much of that needed
Do you feed?
Yeah.
Right?
There's also a real problem in not recognizing the finite nature of existence. I mean, just when you're 20 especially, or 21, or whatever it is, when you enter into these jobs, you don't realize, like, hey man, you've only got like a few decades
Right.
of good times.
You could do this for 40 years.
Yeah.
Easily.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
And then we've all met those people that have done it for 40 years, and they're just beaten down by life, and they have that dull, desperate look in their eyes. It's just this sadness in their eyes, where their life is just, it's not good. It hasn't turned out well. There's not a lot of joy there.
Yeah, and hold on to the vacations big time.
Oh, you're scaring the shit out of me, Chris. Scaring the shit out of me. So you, in the middle of doing all this, right? So you do this, you go on this crazy 7-month adventure, and when it's over, what was that like? When you hit the end and you realize, is there like a bell you ring or anything like that? You should put a bell up there.
So I mean, going northbound, there's like this epic Mount Katahdin. It's like a beautiful big mountain. One of the most epic climbs. That's in Maine. So if you go south, you end in Georgia, and you end on Springer Mountain, which is just not as
Not as epic.
Not as dramatic, you know. You're right. So, but yeah, I mean, you finish it. There's just a plaque, and it's like, dude, you finished.
Really? And you touch the plaque? Do you have to touch it? What if you get right before it and you quit?
It's
Like right before, like a foot before. Fuck this.
just collapse.
Yeah, like 2 feet before the plaque.
Yeah, no,
Does
I'm
it
good.
count?
Yeah.
That's it.
So that's the main. That's the finish. And
That's the finish.
And yeah,
Wow.
for northbounders.
How many people fake it? Take a picture of that. Dude.
You can go hike that in one day. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's. You would at least. I would probably do that. I'd go hike it in a day, and then get that weird feeling of watching these people that are covered in 2 inches of grime climb up that hill.
Can you pull up Springer?
Look at that
can you
guy.
pull up
That
Springer Mountain?
motherfucker. Look at that guy. That guy looks like he's been hiking for 7 months.
Hiker.
What's it called?
Springer Mountain.
Springer Mountain. Yep.
Look at that guy's face. Jesus Christ. He's just all hair and. So
There you go. Yeah. Well, that's the.
that's where it starts. Is that the gateway?
That's what's called the approach trail. It's not the. It's like
I like how it has like an awning.
that's the actual plaque on the end, but that's not a great shot of it. There you go. That's it.
So that's where it starts.
Yep. That's it.
National Scenic Trail. Now, who established this?
So there's a guy named Benton Mackay.
Imagine trying to talk people into doing that with you. Like when you first started doing that, like what year did this guy do this?
I know these dates, but I don't think.
Take a
the
guess.
30s.
So imagine 1930s, fucking Great Depression, that old deal. Those are the people back then. And this guy says, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk all the way up to Maine, and I'm going to start a whole movement. A bunch of other people are going to do it as well. They're
Yeah.
probably like, fuck you, dude.
And
Get a job, hippie.
yeah, the CCC at the time was helping construct all the trails.
Look at that. Springer Mountain, Georgia, 8.5 miles. Mount, how to say it?
Katahdin.
Katahdin, Maine, 2,108.5 miles. Those 0.5 are a motherfucker. That last 0.5, oh. So when you did it and you touched the sign and you're like, all right, I did it.
I cried.
Did you?
I did. I literally collapsed.
Wow. Like you fell to your knees?
It was seriously one of the most emotional times of my life.
I would imagine.
I was just even like that morning I woke up and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is ending, It's like so much, just so long. I'd been thinking about it from childhood, and then it was like not only thinking about it for, a decade, but then it was actually hiking the darn thing for 6 months, and it was just like getting there. It was like by that time, like I had stress fractures forming in my feet, and
Really?
yeah, I was just in bad shape. I wasn't sleeping well because at night it was getting down to 0 degrees every night, and my sleeping bag was not cutting it. So I was just like, it was just a lot, man.
Stress fractures in your feet, huh?
Yeah, and I've had stress fractures from cross country in high school, so I knew what they felt like. I was like, this is coming. It's just a matter of time,
Because we're going way, way, way back. The real issue, this is like a year before, more than a year before everything went sideways.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
So what went sideways and why?
Okay.
So you're this super progressive vegan guy, but what went sideways?
So, an ex of mine, I'm trying to think about like how much I can say, started, it was weird. Like, girls I was dating, like she would kind of like pop up and be like following them on like social media. And I kind of was like, all right, it's a little weird.
Girls you were dating, but you were married at the time.
So what was also not talked about in these articles is that for the last however many years before Alice and I got separated, we were in an open relationship. We talked about it on the show eventually, but for a while we didn't talk about it. And which to anyone in a fucking open relationship, like it's a nightmare when you're not talking about it because you feel like a lecherous, cheating creep because you're in an open relationship.
But you don't talk about it. So then when girls meet you and you tell them you're
yeah,
in
you
an
go,
open relationship,
I'm
they're
in
like, yeah, right.
Yeah, totally. When you go,
Right.
I'm in a secret open relationship, they're
Yeah.
like, you're full of shit.
Right.
And so, I like kind of did the road thing, but like felt like a fucking creep. And
The road thing meaning hook up with girls
yeah,
on the road?
yeah.
Okay.
And then, I was finally just like, we have to talk about it. And at this point, and I don't want to shit on anybody, at this point, my co-host and I, we were pretty much just like really good friends, right? Who lived together and did a show together. And so years later, years after me and this girl broke up, years after all this shit, I'm living in LA. I've had a girlfriend for a year. It's like a very healthy, wonderful relationship. Years after all this, I guess what happened was one of these girls essentially started to try to find any girl who has been pissed off by me before. And they found enough for an article that I think like 2 articles came out. I left Citizen Radio because the show was getting a ton of complaints because our inner circle started to find out that there were quote unquote accusations, which the word accusation makes it sound Weinstein-y.
Accusations of.
So that's what.
They were saying, but it was very unspecific. What I read, they said predatory behavior, and I was like, oh, meaning he's trying to get laid. That's what a man does. Like, not predatory in the sense of you're victimizing someone or raping someone or doing something horrible to someone or even.
And this is when my own words kind of bit me in the ass because I spent an entire year. Or years being like, hashtag believe women. And then you read that and you go, hashtag don't believe women. Like, you don't know what to do. And like, I was always like, if you call a girl who accuses you, crazy, you're just projecting and like, you're trying to, and then suddenly I'm reading this article. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. And I didn't, all of my stuff.
Hold on, one article. Are you talking about the Jezebel
So there's a Jezebel,
article?
yeah, there's a Jezebel article. And
hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
oh man, it was really bad, and I read it for the first time, and I don't want to go into details because I don't want to shit on people who like feel like they were, hurt or whatever. But a good majority of the article isn't even fucking true. There was one part where Jezebel even wrote it. Like, if we can make it about journalism.
Well, let's not even say Jezebel because it's one woman who wrote it. There's several people
totally. So the author, there's one moment in it, and I'll try to make this about journalism and not about the woman, but one of the complaints about me was I had a consensual night with a lady in Nashville who I guess because she like listened to the show, maybe they're like, that's predatory because you're like famous. And I was like, well, no one else thinks I'm fucking famous.
But wait a minute. They were defining it as predatory because you're famous?
That's part of it.
So every time Mick Jagger gets laid, it's predatory?
That's part of it. That's what I don't. That's the thing. And by the way, fucking call me. If I'm Mick Jagger famous, you can call me a fucking predator. If I can barely get a +1 to a vegan festival famous, like, please do not call me a predator.
Well, I mean, look, there's levels to fame, right? And I know you're being self-deprecating and everything like that, but you did have a nice following, and you did. I saw some of your videos online where you did big crowds. So it's not like you didn't have fans.
No,
right? So you did have fans, but the idea that you liking some woman who's a fan and her liking you, like that somehow or another you're a predator because she enjoys your work is crazy. Well, is that how they were defining it? Because I don't know.
Yes. And then, but then
it seems like they're being very convenient in their definitions.
Well, and that was part of it. There was like, there was another one where it was like, yeah, the predatory stuff specifically was that. And then what was even more fucked up about the article was it said, and I'm not going to quote exactly. She also wrote into another podcast, and I heard this, but essentially what the woman said, we did not sleep together. It alluded that we slept together. It didn't say that I was in an open relationship, but we didn't sleep together. She told me she didn't want to sleep together, and I was like, great, no problem. She's like, I don't want it to go further than that, you know?
Okay.
So I was like, cool. Even if you change your mind, we're not going to do it. Got it. And then in the article about me being a predator, it's like, I felt so safe and it was a great night. And I was like, this sounds like an article about me being a good dude. And then it said, but then weeks later, she heard on the podcast that she was just a quote road fuck. And then Jezebel, in parentheses, this one author from Jezebel, in parentheses, said Jezebel could not find the clip. Right, because it doesn't fucking exist, because I'm not going to call someone a road fuck next to my wife on my feminist podcast.
Not only that, you're not going to say it if you didn't even have sex with them.
And we didn't have sex, right.
So this is they just decided to take this characterization by this one woman
and that's it.
And flavor the article with
yes.
it. It's very unfair.
No,
right?
and dude, like...
So is this punishment, you think, for you because you somehow or another...
So that's why it becomes easy. And just to be like incredibly clear, like if this woman was like hurt by that. Like, that sucks, man. I've been burnt by girls.
But hold
It
on a second. You
sucks.
didn't do anything.
No.
If she was hurt because you didn't eventually become her girlfriend,
Right.
or her boyfriend rather, that's just on her.
Sure.
Unless you're mischaracter.
No.
Mischaracterizing
I'm trying to be.
You're trying to be nice.
I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah, well, and I assume she is probably, she was probably taken out of context as well. There's a real problem with writing things about people. And one of the real problems with writing things about people is they don't get a chance to respond in real time to the things you're saying. So you establish a narrative and then you keep going with it. You write paragraph after paragraph with no one responding to that.
Yeah, and months later,
No
I
counter to
I
it.
saw like the woman who wrote the article. Like, there was a request in my like other inbox in Facebook that like you don't even see, and like for a comment. So like, I mean, yeah, she did reach out, but at that point I was literally Googling ways to kill myself. So I'm like, I did not get back to her.
So you were Googling ways to kill yourself for real?
Yeah, for real. So, well, just to like
Why?
put a
Just because
cap
this
on
one
that
article?
So here's what happened, and this goes to your question before. Because I had called so many people sexist, because I had sort of made my almost career by that, it was fucking fun, man. When people heard about this, like, and you see the headlines, and this is another like problem with like clickbait journalism. The headlines look like I was fucking accused of rape. There was a one article that used the word sexual harassment, sexual misconduct was in all the headlines.
And what is that?
I have no
That's
fucking
a weird
idea.
one because I've seen that one about people connected to Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
saying like about Ben Affleck, they called it sexual misconduct.
Dude,
like, what does that mean? Like
but
doing
it's-
something that you don't think they should do?
Well, it's really
but is
creepy.
legal and
I almost lost a job. I did just lose a gig because when you Google me, it's like sexual misconduct stuff. And like, that's really scary. And again, I don't want to be like, you know who the real victim of Harvey Weinstein is? Jamie Kilstein.
Right.
But like,
let me just stop you right here. If you say like one more time, my fucking head's gonna explode.
oh, dude, I get comments like that.
It's brutal.
Is it brutal? Is it
Yeah,
as
it's
bad as?
brutal.
All right,
I just want you to slow it down.
I'm gonna
Use it every now and then.
slip
but
this coffee
you're,
over
you're
here.
breaking the like meter.
I'm gonna.
I do it too, man. A lot of people do it. It's an easy one to do.
I'm gonna switch to water.
But that word is it's an people use it as
I know.
It's okay. I do it too.
Yeah.
We all do it, but it's just it's nice to know.
Yeah. No.
But it's also a very progressive thing. Like there's a way like that people talk like when they're really progressive that like you don't hear like left-wing people talk.
I keep getting fucked over by the progressives, even
But
with
it
my
is.
speech.
It's a way of appearing what's the word? Submissive or
Innocent?
non-aggressive,
Yeah,
innocent,
I get it.
passive. Yeah, it's not an aggressive way of communicating.
All right. What if I said like, but like I kept like punching the table like as I did it?
Like I'm gonna fucking like let you know like.
Go to like step to me, just smash a Paps can.
So you got a bunch of people that were upset at you because you had embodied the quintessential ally.
So it was there. Nobody had a reason to like me or to defend me. On one half of the Twitter sphere, you had progressives who thought I was a sexual creep, and then on the other half, you have comedy fans who are like, fuck this dude. He's
Right.
the one who called everyone a sexist. You don't need to read the article. If you see a headline, I mean, God, I attacked so many people without fucking reading the articles.
Right, of course.
There are people to
Yeah.
this day that would come up on Citizen Radio that I don't know why I was mad at. I would just figure out the story as we were covering it and be like, yep, fuck that guy, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
And so there was no reason to root for me. There wasn't a strong enough fan base. It wasn't like if, a bigger comic gets accused of something. Well, he has thousands or millions of fans, and then this small community who are accusing him of something. I had sort of nobody, and when I burnt all the bridges in comedy, and I never just showed up at clubs to do sets and stuff like that, I just had this audience and sort of thought I could never get fired, like when Allie and I sort of became more platonic before the open relationship, I mean, there were days it was so, I would sleep on the couch, but there were days I would go on the road and I would not cheat and I would go back to the hotel and jerk off and like my orgasm was better because I'm like, I saved Citizen Radio. Like I was trying so hard not to do anything like that. And so anyway, I lost Yeah, there was no one to root for me. I just had this small audience. The small audience either thinks I'm a predator or they're too nervous to say anything.
Well, you fit the quintessential. You there's a classic view of what a male feminist is, and that classic view is a sneaky guy that is like getting in tight with women and saying all the things they really want to hear. And the classic story is that those women are never attracted to that guy anyway and want up and go and fuck some jock.
Some alpha guy.
I mean, that's literally what happens.
There's like, yeah, you don't say like, do you?
But it's just this thing that people, it's just, well, it's a cliche.
And
I mean,
totally. And I also think it was the homophobic politician who sucks a dick. Right?
Sure.
Where
same
they're
thing,
like,
yeah.
ha.
Right. The super religious guy who turns out to actually be gay, like Ted. What is that guy's name? Ted, the guy from Colorado.
Can we just say Cruz and start a uproar?
Yeah. You probably
Ted Cruz, right? It was definitely Ted Cruz.
Right.
Yeah, and so
Ted Haggard.
Ted Haggard, yes.
Yeah.
And I used to have a bit about him. And
who didn't?
Yeah, right. And so this is what happens. Yeah, this is sort of the problem with acting like you don't have flaws. And I always did. I thought on the show, my favorite parts of my show were when I talked about depression or alcoholism, and we would get emails in from people who, you know, it said it really helped them. And I wanted to talk so much more about that stuff because I do think it's important to examine your flaws. But on a political level, I held myself up as like in untouchable.
Well, I think you were doing essentially the same thing that you were talking about doing on Twitter, where you're addicted to this positive response and you're addicted to saying these things about people and attacking people. It's a real problem on the left. It's fucking amazing that stuff's legal.
Did you watch 60 Minutes 3 weeks ago?
No.
That was the motherfucker's motherfucker.
What was it?
Just about the opioid epidemic and how the DEA stopped prosecuting. The word came from, it's just a nightmare. They're fucking terrible, those things. Listen, those things are terrible.
Yeah, there was a whole article recently about the company that sells most of the opiates and the family that's behind that company and how many billions of dollars that they've made off the opioid crisis. Opioid or beard? How we say it? Opioid. How we say it wrong?
Once that shit grips you, that synthetic heroin, that's what that, right, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
It's a bad grip. Like I said, I took a 16th one night in my living room and I had to lay down. And that's my whole resume with OxyContins. And I'm a fucking mule. I can eat 2,000 milligrams of THC and live a 16th of one of those pills. I popped, it was just a little piece, nothing. My blood pressure dropped so fucking much. I just laid down, went to sleep, and I knew my pill career had come to an end. And never even let it start.
Really?
Never even let it start. Can you believe, brother? In 2 weeks, it's going to be 10 years since I've done that wipeout. I want you to think about that.
Wow.
I want you to really think about it. I still remember being at Cobb's with you that January. And like going, it's been 2 months. I don't know if I could really do this shit. Like, I don't know if I control this feeling. And I controlled it.
So you, like, when you quit, what was like the first week like?
Hell.
Hell.
First 2 weeks were hell.
Did you think about going back, just like, I can't do this? Or did you know that you had to make a change?
I had to make a change. I knew that my spine was starting to hurt. I knew
Your spine was starting to hurt.
Yeah, I was starting to get jolted.
Oh.
And at 4 in the morning, after you do coke, right at the tip over here.
A lot of people who've done coke get like Parkinson's.
Yeah, fuck that. No. Once I started,
so you think that's related? Well, I know a lot of old timers that did a lot of coke in the 70s, and then they wound up like some serious neuromuscular diseases.
Absolutely. That shit shocks your central nervous system. There was times I did cocaine that was like electric. It was like when you put that thing in your hand or you get electrocuted, you could feel the electric in your body the next day, like that, like in your brain. Like you could actually see the neurotransmitters are fucking on fire. You could feel that. I could tell when I would go on stage after doing 2 or 3 nights of blow that week. I had no control. I really had no control over my material. I had no control over my delivery. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Like just the way you communicate was just off?
Yeah, your mind can't grip it. You can't sell the joke. The facial doesn't connect with the hand movement or the breathing. So Like, I knew that was always going to be a danger in the future. Now, I take all that, for like a year, I drank those, what's your buddy's name that makes the neurosurgeon milkshakes? The football player that fucking beat the guy up, Romanowski.
Romanowski?
I took all his stuff for like a year just to.
Did you?
Yeah, the orange drink and stuff. Pretty
Neuro 1, that stuff. Did that help you?
Yeah, it felt good. It felt a lot better.
Like give your brain some
Give
nutrients?
me some control. Yeah, but 10 years, I mean, that I had to do a benefit in Hoboken. And I had gotten high. Like, that whole summer, I tried to get off coke. I was doing the heroin. I was trying to get off the coke and shit. And then that September, I ran out of heroin. So I was doing it like maybe once a week. And the whole thing went down in Maryland. I knew I had to stop. And then I had this thing in Hoboken.
Whole thing went down with Marilyn Martinez when she died?
She was dying. I went back east that week. And she was dying. I don't know what happened. It was like, you know what? I was trying to get coke on Friday night. I couldn't get it, and I just took it for what it was. I was trying to get coke on Saturday. I couldn't get it, so fuck it. I took the plane back Sunday. I couldn't get it here. Something happened. I couldn't get it. And then that Monday, I had a meeting to do a movie. And at the end of the meeting, the guy said, listen, man, we know about your drug problem. So before you say yes, we want you to think about this, because you can't miss a day on this movie. You cannot be late. If you're late, the whole movie can't shoot, because it was a cast. We all shot in one room. It was an AA meeting. So I thought about it. I'll do it. And that was the roughest fucking month ever, because I was just going home, and before 8 o'clock would start, I would just go to bed, because 8 o'clock was my cocaine time. That's when my body would start to ache. That's when I couldn't even... You could be telling me the most important thing in your life, and I'd be watching you, but I couldn't hear. All my mind was focusing on was getting that blow at 8 o'clock.
Wow.
And then I would figure out how to get the $60. I'm going to go to the ATM machine. I would shoot over to Rock and Roll Ralph's. There's that ATM machine in front of Rock and Roll Ralph's right there.
Yeah.
And I would take $60 out there. Dog, I would run every red light to get to that ATM machine. Like, I didn't give a fuck. And then from there, I would just make the U-turn, go to my dealer's house, and go home and leave the coke there. And now I was ready for the night. I was in peace just knowing that the coke was at the house. I didn't have to do it.
I've never been physically addicted to something in a way where I had a hard time kicking it, but I've had some psychological addictions for sure. And I think that one of the things that I've gotten out of this month of the Sober October thing that Tom, Bert, and Ari and I are doing is that a lot of it is psychological.
A lot of it is psychological.
Because just knowing that we can't smoke pot or can't drink all month, you start thinking about, we're at the home stretch, November 1st, around the corner. Like, I don't really feel like I need to get high. It's not like I need a drink tomorrow, but it's knowing that I can't do it for the month where it hangs over your head. So that's what's even more impressive, that you could kick it. Because it's not just the fact that you have like a physical problem, but you also have this psychological problem. Like, the psychological part of it is like it's a pattern that you're comfortable with. You got used to that pattern of 8 o'clock, you're looking for the coke, you go and do it, and then you're off. It's like you're off, even though you're in chaos, your life's in disarray, and you're in the grips of addiction, you're comfortable with that feeling. You've been there before. And for whatever reason, when people get used to fucking up, and they go, why do I keep fucking up? One of the reasons you keep fucking up is because you're used to fucking up. And it's not an uncomfortable feeling in the sense that you know it. It might suck, but you know it's the devil you know. You know?
There was nights I didn't want to do it, and I still did it. Do you understand me?
Yeah,
I didn't want to do it. Like, I didn't need to do it. Like, I didn't feel. I just wanted to do it.
But it was just something to do.
Like, it was just something to do.
Wow.
It was just something to do. But, what I tell people all the time is you want to have to quit. It just doesn't happen. Like, I quit at 44. I'm no fucking genius. But it took me 2 years. Like, it was a 2-year struggle, like a personal little struggle. Like,
when did you know that it was that you were free? Because you didn't go to AA or Narcotics Anonymous.
No, I went to one meeting, an AA meeting, and I went in Hollywood, which everything is good until you go to it in Hollywood. Because in Hollywood, you add the dramatic and the actor image to it. If you go to an AA meeting in Jersey, they're in there smoking Camel Reds, fucking talking from the heart. You go to an AA meeting in Hollywood, you got people with AA tattoos on their arm, hugging each other. You know, it's a fucking jamboree.
They're just happy to be in AA. It's like it's a new clan that they're in.
And then what happens is, after about 2 months in this area, for some reason, I've noticed because I have a lot of friends in an AA. Somebody approaches you and says, "Hi, you know what's going on?" And you're like, "I'm struggling." They're like, "Well, have you seen Dr. Bob?" They're like, "Dr. Bob." I'm just making this name up. They're like, "Dr. Bob, oh my God. Tell him about Dr. Bob. Tell Joe about Dr. Bob has changed your whole life." So basically, you'll see Dr. Bob. He gives you bullshit referendum, whatever.
Prescription?
What you have. You know, like, you're bipolar.
Diagnosis, right.
You're this. Now they start shooting Adderall at you. The other shit at you. So you're really not sober. You're really not sober. You see, now, after I got clean, I discovered I had a problem. I discovered I was bipolar or Johnny Gubats or this or that or this.
Right.
Now that medication they give you, you know, on top of the opiate epidemic, how bad a fucking Adderall?
Adderall is so
How fucked up is Adderall?
Let's tell everybody what's going on with your iPad. So because you had a stroke, you have difficulty. Do you have difficulty hearing or?
Well, no, I can hear just perfectly right now, But there's just the one kind of a lingering issue. There's a lingering issue. And sometimes I lose just a couple steps on time. And then now, after that, that's the only thing. And thankfully, the stroke never touched my intellect things. But the stroke nearly killed me. And again, I don't... But I use captioning in situations just like this, in interviews. That's why I can really make sure exactly what's being said, and then I can able to just participate. If somebody wears the glasses, it doesn't mean that they're illiterate. It just means that's a tool that allows them to participate or drive or those things. And it's that same thing. And a lot of people across America use captioning to watch movies and TV, and that's really no different than that.
So it doesn't affect your intellect, but it does affect your hearing? Is that what's going on?
No, I can hear and I can listen to music. The difference with music, for example, is that as long as there's muscle memory, I can remember all of those kinds of music things. But it seems unlikely at this point that there are not going to be any kind of new favorites emerging like that. Because
so you essentially can listen to the same old music forever?
Yeah, no, I mean, all the classics like Metallica, Motorhead, the Cult, all those kinds of things. Like I haven't lost any of the Def Leppard and those things. Well, and I saw the record of Whitesnake, but all those things. Yeah, no, I mean, I think we're both in the 50s, right? And we grew up with the Crew and all those kinds of things. So some people might judge me based on my taste on music, but I mean that's kind of where.
Listen, people are going to judge you no matter what. You're a big giant guy who wears hoodies, and you're a senator. like no matter what, they're going to judge you. Who cares? But I'm just trying to understand what is going on with the captioning, because you can hear, but so there's some sort of a disconnect between hearing and understanding. What is it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a disconnect. It's just about being precise on that, just to make sure that. So if like for an interview, just to make sure of those things. So it's really just about captioning. It's just a tool, no difference. I mean, for this is like my eyes, in the sense for glasses that it just
right. I understand. So it just gives you a little bit more precision in what you're saying, and understanding. What was it like running for senator right after recovering from a stroke? That had to be a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that.
Because you seem to have recovered quite a bit since then.
Oh, yeah, no.
But during that time, you were really struggling.
Oh, sure, absolutely. It was a rough conversation after that. They brought me into the hospital, and then I went under, and then I woke up, and they said, hey, we got it. We got the clot. The clot that essentially just about killed me. And I'm like, oh, that's good. And then just kind of went back under. And at that point, I had no idea where we were at on those things. And then I had, the next morning, I woke up, and then a doctor came on, and he had kind of a grim kind of a look on his face and things. And my dad was there sitting next to me at the bed. And I was like, well, hey, Doc, I mean, what do you think? What do you like? And he's like, well, your heart is functioning at an incredibly low kinds of percentage. And I'm like, well, what do you think? And he was like, well, there's some issues. And I'm like, well, are we talking, maybe a year kind of thing? And like, and I'm like,
And this was all while you were running for Senate?
Yeah. This was 3 days before the primary.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was on my way to an event, and my wife Giselle, she's like, you're having a stroke, because they had that classic kinds of where half of my face, I didn't know that, but it kind of just
slumped.
Yeah, and then they hotlined me over to the hospital, and I wouldn't have survived if we were in a different. I mean, there's parts of Pennsylvania, and that's part of the tragic. That if I wasn't close to the kinds of hospital that I was, it's 100% that I wouldn't have survived that.
Wow.
And it got me there in enough time, and they were able to. There was an expert there, and I actually I met that doctor that literally saved my life. And I'm like, oh my God. And he usually wasn't based in that hospital. He was usually out of Delaware, but he happened to be there.
Wow.
And he was here to give me an award for being that kind of an advocate for those things. I'm like, no, you deserve the award on that. And
that's incredibly lucky.
Yeah, and then I asked. Really looking for like a countdown of like, well, what's the prognosis? And there wasn't much there on that. And I had to was I going to survive for long, or, what's that going to look? And then of course, the entire majority on the Senate really was on the middle of that. And that's a big responsibility after that. And then, so the primary, it happened, and then I actually had a really strong win, and I won all of 67 counties. Pennsylvania has 67 counties, and we carried every county, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and all across Pennsylvania. But at that point, I had a responsibility. It's like, am I able to recover, or when am I going to be okay? And I wouldn't recommend being in that situation. But I made a commitment. More than anything, I was more worried about being around to be a dad. I mean, I have three young kids, and my wife, she lived through all of this. So at that point, it started. I was in the hospital for about 10 days.
Jeez.
And I start to get better and better. The strength started to come back a little bit, but it was still rough. And it was very, very clear, though, that I had a capacity to. It's been impaired on hearing and those kinds of interaction and those things. But that's the thing. But I had to decide by August 15th, and that's my birthday, ironically, that if I step down by then or before, then they're going to have to find somebody to replace me on the primary, and that was going to be my dropout day on that.
So what was the operation? How did they do it? How did they remove the clot?
Well, I had to originally. I had to go back to. I have to learn how to talk and speak. I went to a speech therapist and have interaction and those kinds of things, and my hearing and those kinds of things were still impacted by that. And they had to monitor my heart because it was it effectively stopped. I found out after the fact that it actually stopped. And then that my heart had to recover. So there was two kinds of things working there. My heart And then right before the primary, they walked in and they said, well, here's what I suggest. Here's what I suggest. Now, we are going to put a pacemaker. We're going to put in a pacemaker. And we're like, hey, that's the best thing. So they put that device right here. And for anyone, if you're not really what that is, a pacemaker, but that manages your heart. Because I had a significant issue with AFib, and that's really what did that to my heart. And they put that in, and then that was right before the primary, and they put me under, and
So what year was this?
This was 22.
2022. And before you had this stroke, had you ever had any issues before with clotting or anything like? Was this like
not with clotting? Not with clotting. I have. For good things and for bad things, my heart was just like my father's, and he had an issue with AFib, and he was in the hospital for.
So it's a genetic.
Yeah, a genetic, and but I didn't. It was never an idea. It was never an idea that I was going to even having a stroke. That wasn't part of at least my thinking. I knew that I was in distress. I could tell that my heart was in problem, and I was just going to get through this primary. I mean, there's a lot running on that, and then that it didn't work out because the stroke hit 3 days before, and then that forced me, and that put me on an incredibly different kind of a path after that.
And so, where do they go in when they're removing the clot? Do they have to cut your skull open? Like, how do they get it out of there?
They went up. In your vein, in your leg, and they went up in, and it's a remarkable technology that
through your leg,
all
the way up to your brain,
and they just sucked it out, and they actually had an X-ray or whatever, and you could see that, hey, we got it out, and I actually got to see. Although I really was still kind of out of it, but that was the clot that all but took my life, and so. I mean, there were a lot of things there. Suddenly your mortality was kind of like put right there in front of it.
Yeah.
And through that.
Do they have any idea what caused the clot? Do they understand like what happened to you? My grandmother had an aneurysm, and it was a horrible situation. They didn't find her for several hours. Afterwards, my grandfather came home and she wasn't in the house, and then he found her in the backyard. She had collapsed, and they gave her 72 hours to live, and she lived for 12 years like that. It was horrible. My grandfather had to take care of her. It was really, really rough. So I'm always like really concerned with that kind of stuff. Like what causes it? Do they know?
Yeah, well, it's. I mean, I had, for the first time in my life, and I hope it's the last time, that I'm confronted by this idea that the doctors weren't able to provide any kinds of certainty, or it's like, oh yeah, man, you're going to be okay, or things are going to be okay. That wasn't.
So they don't know what caused it.
Well, I mean, it was AFib, and my heart weakened, and the stress of the primary and on the ongoing kinds of issues, it was already weakened about that issue earlier, and everything kind of came together, and I guess my heart deteriorated to the point where that caused the clot, and then the clot, that's what nearly took my life.
Whew. So. Then you have to go to work. So now you are an elected senator, and you have to go to work in the middle of recovery.
Yeah, it's. I think. I mean, it's so It's. I had a significant responsibility to stay in that and winning through all of those things, and that was difficult enough. It was an important conversation, and we had to run a campaign. When it was difficult, and I wasn't working at the kind of capacity that was necessary, and we had to run up to the 15th of August to decide if we're going to stay in that, because there's a lot riding on that.
And you were also competing against Dr. Oz, which was weird. This guy who's a celebrity doctor, who's At least a little shady.
No, it necessarily was the yeah. I think so we were talking about captioning earlier right now, and I think we're having an issue with some of the captioning right now here.
Is it not showing up?
I think there's a little bit of a delay.
So what I was just saying, that it was odd that you were running against Dr. Oz, and he was just kind of
Dr. Oz. Yeah, I mean, Dr.
weird
Oz,
guy.
Yeah, and he's he used to be. People used to thought he was like really brilliant. I mean, he was like an amazing kind of surgeon, celebrity, and then he turned his career into like on TV, and then he started to pitch more kinds of questionable kinds of things and kind of bullshit kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why somebody would change his reputation. I mean, he was really revered in that. And I would have been comfortable to him operate on me. But he kind of lost that. And what was also pretty funny is that he lived in New Jersey. And so we were like, hey, we need to use that and point out that. So
I had a joke about The Matrix that people were upset about, where I was upset that the Wachowski sisters were in the top 10 female directors.
Oh, no. Are they really?
Yeah, because I was like, if they had come into, say they had come into MGM as sisters, being like, we want to pitch a movie, like in the 90s, like, we want to pitch a movie, it's about a guy and he's in a simulation. They'd be like, how about you simulate my dick in your mouth? You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like anti anything, but people still got mad. But yeah, that joke was one of my favorites for a while, because I'm obsessed with The Matrix. It's my favorite movie.
It was a great
ever.
movie, and I think we're about to literally live it.
Yeah.
We're real close.
I'm in the camp that everybody thinks I'm fully retarded. They just told me a lot on Twitter that AI is going to help things, not hurt things. I would like the record to state that this is my theory, because I think it's going to be proved right.
You think that AI is going to help people, not hurt things?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. How do you think that that's going to happen?
I just think that the whole catastrophic, this is going to be an entity that ends all of us. I don't think it's going to do that. I think that maybe I'm just looking at the positive side, but I think it's such a smart piece of technology that was so in the works the whole time to be made, that it's going to help us solve problems. Like, I think humanity has been trying to create somebody that can work on a supercomputer level to solve problems faster and more efficiently.
Yeah, that's definitely the best case scenario use for it.
Right, but the corporations are evil, and
yeah,
all
the
of that.
problem is they've already shown that these large language models can be programmed with ideology, right? So did you ever see the disaster they had with Google Gemini when they first launched it, where they said, show us images of Nazi soldiers, and they had multiracial Nazi soldiers.
Yeah.
They like an Asian woman was a Nazi soldier, a black woman,
Yeah.
an Indian. They had a Native American lady who was a Nazi. Like,
Yeah.
That's not real. Okay, so your ideology, by making everything diverse, you've distorted history. Like, so your ideology interfered with truth. Okay,
But
so that means
we
it's
do
programmed.
that when we take down all the
Right, but we're not
statues.
that. But we're not supposed to be this large language model. This large language model is supposed to be eventually super intelligence in artificial form, right? So a super intelligence wouldn't do that. It would know that Nazis were German and they were,
It wasn't Nazi that they asked for. They asked for German soldiers, and then it gave people in color, which 1943, which would have been Nazi soldiers.
Yeah, why are you getting all technical?
You're asking a large language model to do something.
I know, but it did show German soldiers that were wearing Nazi swastikas that were multiracial.
I'm just saying the question would have to be specific when you're talking
Right.
about these things.
Okay.
That's why.
German soldier, which happened to be Nazi.
I was trying to with that music stuff all night, and you have to be very specific when you want.
What
You don't think there's any possibility that it could be something that we have control over, not control, that we have control over, and we use it for, like, don't you think we've always been scared about everything, about science, about microscopes, about social media?
Mm-hmm. The printing press.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they were terrified when people first developed trains. They thought people's bodies were going to explode if they went over 35 miles an hour. Yeah,
It's
for
just,
sure.
this is, the human error removed is sick, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Those Waymo cars are sick. The doctors using ChatGPT, they're doing such a better job.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of pluses. The problem is control. It's always the problem. And every person that has an enormous amount of power should be carefully scrutinized. And the kind of power that you're going to have if you are in control of essentially a digital god, like, it becomes a problem when human beings are involved. Now, if they become completely autonomous, then you have a problem with us being irrelevant.
But that's what I'm talking about, that situation where they become autonomous. That's what I'm referring to. So
Right.
say we have an autonomous entity. Why would it kill us? We don't go, you know what I
Well,
mean?
I'm not saying it would. I don't think it would. I don't think it would kill us, but it would probably give us incentive to not breed, which I think if I was an intelligent life force, I would kind of do it exactly the way our society is already going.
Yeah, we're already
Like
doing
right
it.
now. We're doing it to ourselves, but that might be by design, is my point. It might be that in order to not alarm us, that this artificial intelligence has engineered our diet and our environment to kill our reproductive system. And it's already doing, but it's doing it in a very innocuous way with microplastics and a bunch of, it's doing it in a way where we don't even know what's happening. And it's just happening
But on the
nice and
same
slowly.
coin, it could be like, hey, what if we actually perpetuated the species and got it back to life like the pandas?
I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is we're going to become hybrids. We're going to become a cyborg, like a real legitimate cyborg.
I'm stoked about that.
Are you?
Yeah.
You be first in line?
Oh my God, give me the frickin' parts. I fainted blood. No more blood. Make me a cyborg. I'm happy. I love metal. I love scrap metal. I love cars. Make me a fucking car, dude. I hate this gooey thing.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know it's going to be unprecedented. It's going to be a new thing.
I'm surprised. The one thing that did freak me out is a guy the other day at a bachelorette party had the goggles on that was recording us.
Oh, God.
When I realized that, when I was like, oh shit,
The meta
AI is going to
glasses.
take in
Everything.
all of the information.
Yeah. There's a lot of people wearing the meta glasses everywhere, which is like, at one point, you're like, oh, well, it's cool, new technology. Another thing, you're like, but people probably don't even fucking know they're getting recorded, and that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Well,
weird.
also, I don't like the idea of all these digital images of things. Like, if it could be printed out into matter and you could look at it, but the idea of like your entire life, like even us with the fucking iPhones, all these photos stress me the fuck out, dude.
Why?
Because it's so much, because there's something about it, because when you have a photo, you're in the present with a past photo, right? Like I'm sitting here in this reality with a past reality that I can hold.
Right.
The weird giant vortex of memory is almost like my vortex of memory. You know what I mean? Like neither of them have matter. My memory in my brain and this brain here. I don't like that. I think that I want the memory to be contained in matter or in my memory. I don't like this being a brain. And I don't like it holding pictures of all of my past.
Well, I think when you say I want to be a cyborg, you're going to hold all of it, and you're going to have a hard drive. So instead of having a memory where it's fallible right now,
Yeah.
like your memory is like weird, like when did we do that? Was that in
Yeah.
November? Oh my God, that was November? You'll have an actual memory just like you have on your phone where you can go back to like like it suggests you on this day, and you go to like 2017, like, oh my God, look
Yeah.
at it. Oh my God, they're so young. Oh my God, look.
That would feel less disembodied than this fucking weird unit that we're all addicted to. You know what I mean? It's already a part of us. It's so weird that it's just man and unit everywhere.
The unit you can just put down.
You think
can.
it'll be...
You can put the unit down.
You think we're going to be cyborgs like it's going to be...
Yeah.
Like human beings will have a chip in their brain that anytime I'm like, what year was that?
It might not even be a chip. It might be a wearable.
Wearable you can put down.
They might be able to have something that you put on the top of your head, with electrodes that touch your temples, and it just sends signals into your brain and works from there. I mean, who knows? It's so cutting edge. And then once AI gets into the picture, right, and AI, if you get sentient AI and you get AI that understands like how human neurotransmitters work and what to stimulate, what not to stimulate, it might devise ideas that we never even anticipated in terms of like how to implement this technology, and it'll probably figure out how to make it better, and then it'll be off to the races.
I was so scared today because I texted my friend suicidal. Like she texted me about something and I wrote like tongue in cheek, I'm suicidal, right? Like I'm not actually,
Right.
but I wrote it. And I was like, shit, my phone is now going to send me so many fucking don't kill yourself stuff.
Does it do that?
Yeah, dude. Every time I text some shit like that, I'll go on Instagram and it'll be like, don't do this, seek help, blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's what's creepy is that your fucking Instagram knows what you're texting to your friends.
Yeah. I've had 2 people recently be like, do you ever think it like sometimes I'll think a thought and an ad will come up. And I'm
That's
like,
coming.
And 2 people in 1 week said that to me.
Yeah, but doesn't that just mean it's a coincidence?
That
means you're relying on coincidence.
Did you watch this thing I sent you yesterday?
I didn't. What is it?
All right, so this got announced yesterday. They do not describe.
Oh
how it
yeah,
works.
I did. I forgot. Yeah, go ahead.
It allows telepathic communication in some way with a headset. They're clearly connected to something, and they don't show that. But these 2 guys start talking.
Those guys aren't real. Oh, they're real.
Oh, sorry. Shit, there's another video.
Why does it have? What's this music?
Some of their sound is playing.
Oh.
There's a dog.
Got some Apple Vision.
Oh, the Apple Vision.
Any language. So this one is actually translated. Let me go back to these 2 guys just talking.
No way. These guys just have the telepathy tapes. Autism.
It's showing like they're trying to have a communication about food. They're not speaking. It's really hard to like hear this.
That's crazy.
But he describes like you could be in a party and both have the headset on and think words.
All right, these fuckers have to be stopped. This is too crazy.
Yeah, now you're different, right?
Yeah, that's not okay.
I like how you swing one way and the other.
No, fuck that, dude. These dorks, in fucking coffee shops
I'm
talking
use my
shit.
alter ego to go to give you a travel tip.
Yeah, it translates that into Hindi. So it starts off in English, switches it to Hindi.
Whoa.
And the weird thing, which was you guys were just described, they don't talk about how this works yet. They literally just like put up a video on Twitter yesterday, like if you want more information, go to our website. And so you're describing like if they have a way to get brain waves in some way.
All right, yeah, I'm out on this. I'm out on this.
Pick it up,
Especially when I see the kids that are doing it, I'm like, these kids are just fucking dorks who are getting so far.
They're gonna look like aliens.
This isn't like the agents from the
Spindly little
Matrix
people
inventing
with
shit.
big heads.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen.
But if it was the agents from the Matrix, like some attractive men in sunglasses and
Ray-Bans.
suits, I'd be like, okay, what you guys have planned is probably better than reality. But those fucking dorks being like, this is what we're doing now. I
think
that.
no matter what we do, technology is gonna keep moving. No matter what we do, it's China's going to do it, Russia's going to do it, everybody with power is going to do it. Anybody that has the resources, they're going to keep pushing this technology. And if you just think, where's it going? Well, it's going in that direction. You're going to become a part of some fucking giant hive mind.
Yeah,
we're all going to be sharing thoughts together, and it's some bizarre buzz of information that we all suck from.
Yeah,
it's going to be real weird.
It is going to be weird, but then you could have the unpluggers, which would be nice.
Well, that's what it's going to be when you go to the club and you put your phone in the yonder bag. You talk some shit, do stand-up.
Yeah, totally.
But I think it's one of the reasons why people love going to a comedy club now. And especially when you make them put their phone in the yonder bags. Because
it's a game changer. It's such a game
everything.
changer.
You could actually pay attention. You actually focus. You're there. You're living in the present moment instead of constantly checking your tweets. People, it's an addiction, man, and it's a new one, right? It's one that didn't exist for our parents. They never had to deal with it. And we're growing up with this very bizarre connection to the whole world.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's negative. A lot of it's, and it's also manipulated. A lot of it's bots.
I guess I'm hoping it also gets so bad it gets better. Like I'm hoping that, not to use the Matrix again, that there will be a point where you can be like, I'm disconnecting for everything. Whereas right now it feels like we have to engage with it.
Yeah.
Like it would be nice to get to a point where it's like, are you on or off? I'm off. And you're like, oh, okay, I won't try and
Do you
text
ever
or
just
communicate.
disconnect your
Yeah, when I
social
go to my
media?
house, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I disappear.
Yeah, there's a supermassive black hole at the center of every galaxy.
Yeah.
But there's also other black holes that aren't necessarily in the center of galaxies.
Yeah, so these little ones, little.
Little.
They're a few times the mass of the sun, and they're from collapsed stars. So they are stars at the end of their life, very bigger than the sun, more massive than the sun. But they run out of their fuel and they start to collapse because gravity squashes them. And if they're sufficiently massive, then there's nothing that can stop the collapse. And so they collapse, as far as we know, to a point, right? And essentially an infinitely dense point. We don't really know what happens we don't know what happens right in the middle. But they collapse to such an extent that there's a region around it where from which light can't escape, and so nothing can escape, and that's a black hole.
And what happens to them? Do they travel? Are they moving through space?
Yeah, they're still stars,
Right.
So they're still there. They're surrounded this region where if you fall in, it's called the event horizon, and if you go across that horizon, then you are going to the center. There's one way of thinking about it, which is quite cool, which is that the time and space sort of flip is one way to think about it. So in the same way that we are going into the future now, so we're going to tomorrow. There's nothing we can do about it. We are going to tomorrow. In the same way, if you fall in across the event horizon of a black hole, you are going to the middle, the singularity it's called. So that's your future. Every line of your future points to the center of the black hole. So it's kind of the ultimate of no escape, the ultimate prison. You're going to get squashed to an infinitely dense point.
Not
basically.
every star becomes a black hole at the end of its life?
No, because if something like the sun,
We have a small star.
It's quite small, yeah. And when it collapses, there's a sort of a pressure, a force, if you like, which is caused by the fact that electrons don't like to be very close to each other. So it's called the Pauli exclusion principle. But essentially what happens is that, so as they get squashed closer and closer together, they move faster and faster to sort of get out of each other's way, if you like. And that makes a force which holds them up. And so that creates what's called a white dwarf star. So you can have a blob of matter. They're about the size of the Earth, but they're about the mass of the sun. And so that's for smaller stars. They end up as these white dwarf things, which are very dense objects. There's another version, which is called a neutron star, which is the same thing, but for neutrons. And they move faster and faster. So if it's massive enough that it overwhelms the electron thing, then the electrons sort of crush into protons and turn into neutrons, and the whole thing starts again. And so a neutron star can be, at least 1.5 times the mass of the sun, let's say, but it can be about 10 miles across. So that's an incredibly dense ball of matter held up by the neutrons moving around. It's got a fancy name. It's called neutron degeneracy pressure, but that's what it is. But if you go even bigger, then even that can't hold it up. And as far as we know, then there's no known force that we know of that can hold the thing up if it's too massive. And so that's when it just almost winks out of existence, if you like. It collapses and collapses and collapses. And that's when you get a black hole.
We try to put that into perspective. The sun is 1 million times bigger than the Earth.
Yeah.
And this neutron star is, would you say, 1.5 times the mass of the sun,
so
but 10 miles wide?
Yeah. So, and there's loads of those around. They're called pulsars. So we see those all over the place. The first one that was discovered was called LGM1 because they spin very fast. And it was called LGM1 because it's a very regular pulse, and they thought it was Little Green Men. So they called it kind of jokingly Little Green Men 1. And so, yeah, we've seen that there's one called the Crab Pulsar, which is in the Crab Nebula, which we saw the supernova explosion. So that's when one of these stars explodes at the end of its life and then collapses to form a neutron star. And we saw that in 1054 AD.
Wasn't there some speculation that our solar system at one point was a binary star system, and that one of those stars had become a dwarf?
I don't know.
Someone had read something about that in relationship to the dense object they believe is outside the Kuiper Belt.
Yeah, I mean, there's some evidence. There's a bit of evidence that there's something out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the periodic extinctions and things on Earth, like you get periodic bombardments from out in the Kuiper Belt. So yeah, I think one of the theories is
periodic extinctions.
Well, yeah. So for example, like there have been mass extinctions on Earth when a lot of the life died, and we don't know what caused all those, but sometimes they're impacts from space. That seems clear. And so, yeah, there are theories that there's something orbiting out there which can disrupt all these objects out in the Kuiper Belt that sends loads of comets and asteroids inwards to the inner solar system and can cause havoc. And so there's some people look at those theories.
Should have brought in the pictures. I have several little spots.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
All over. They're actually in my car.
Where's your car?
Right outside.
Go get it. We'll wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No worries,
Apologize.
man. Go
I'll
wait.
be right back.
No worries. Got to see it, right? I mean, how often do you get a chance to look at a dude's brain? I'm scared to go into my brain, dude. I bet there's like pitchforks in there and shit. All sorts of, like, sometimes I wonder, like,
I was Googling it. There's something called a gamma knife surgery.
gamma knife surgery.
Yeah, that might.
Is your girl going to go get it for you? Okay. Gamma, Jamie just found you an option.
Well, I don't know. Hey, I'm no doctor here.
He's a doctor. He
But,
just
yeah,
sidelines
it's like
as a producer.
Without cutting open directly, I think it's some sort of radiation treatment.
Oh.
It looked crazy. I'll pull up.
Gamma knife treatment. Need to bring you to some witch doctor.
They put this.
It's. I mean, I can't imagine what you're going through, man, and what you have gone through.
that
Oh,
on your
Jesus
head.
Christ!
And then you go into a machine like this.
What the fuck? Okay, so folks that are just listening to this, it says brain stereotactic radio surgery at the Mayo Clinic, and it looks essentially like an MRI machine. And they got this guy bolted down. His head is kind of screwed into this fucking harness, so I guess he can't move. And then they roll you into this machine. And what does this machine do?
I think it then does this. I saw this picture in another video of it where I guess radiation just hammers your head.
I'm planning on going to this place, the Mayo Clinic.
They're going to make you smarter. That's what's going to happen with that. You're going to get superpowers and shit. How dope would that be?
That
If you
wouldn't
came
be
out, if you came out of that and you could read people's mind, would you tell? I wouldn't tell
It's like
anybody.
the Hulk.
I don't think I would
If I
either.
came out and I'd read people's minds, I'd just shut my mouth and just let all these assholes lie to me. That's a crazy looking machine, man. The harness on the head. Holy shit, that looks uncomfortable. Take a pic. Go to that lady right there with the white thing. She looks so uncomfortable. Look at her. She's like, go in there with my head. Yeah. Oh, your girl's at the door.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We got the scans of Raphael's brain. Dun dun dun. So this is a treatment for cavernoma.
I was looking up cavernoma, yeah, and this popped up. I don't know. I'm sure since he's gone to see multiple doctors for it, that there's multiple treatments that are going on. This seems to be one treatment for a variation of it.
That's interesting.
But when you looked up, like, how do you get I just started digging down a hole, and this is what I found.
The fact that you can do that while producing a podcast is quite shocking, sir. Kudos to you.
These are just the pictures. Obviously, they'll look better on the disc.
Okay. Oh, shit. I can see it from here. Wow, dude. That's crazy. Okay, folks. Well, I'm looking. Look, let me hold this up so people can see, particularly this one. Is there any glare?
That's the one on the outside
Look at that.
of the right.
That is a fucking big-ass spot on your brain. And yeah, you can see there's a few in there, but that's the big boy. But yeah, all in all, that doesn't look good.
And that's what I saw when I was on my way to Brazil, going to train.
That would, especially, you're going to shoot the box. That would freak me the fuck out.
You can see the little ones
Yeah.
that are around,
Yeah.
but they weren't too concerned with those yet. It's the big one and a little bit of this one here that's more on the inside. It's not big like that one, but...
And all of these are on the outside of the brain?
No, just
Some
this
of them
one.
are inside the brain.
Yeah.
The inside the brain, so it would scare the shit out of me. That's crazy to look at, man. It's got to be weird looking at the inside of your head and seeing all the stuff that makes you you. All your personality, your memories, all your skills, all your knowledge, all in there, and it's got weird spots on it. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was heavy. It's still heavy, but
You should put that on your Instagram.
Well, this is my coming out party, I guess you could say.
Fuck, man, that spot's creeping me out.
But, this is a hereditary thing that you the extreme ends are you live with this and it's never a problem your whole life. The other side is it's a problem right from the beginning, and you have to have multiple surgeries, and bad things happen.
Are we live?
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, we're talking. Like, is it going? I was like, yeah.
I was like, what's he doing? You're like, yeah.
We're there.
I wish we could start the show off with Flavor in Your Ear. Would we get kicked off of YouTube? Craig Mack died.
Yeah, that's just a shout out.
I know. I feel like we should be able to, just as a
I'm kicking
shout out.
Flavor in your ear.
It was a great fucking song, man.
Man, it was such a good song.
Dude was only 46.
What was it? I didn't even see what he died of.
Heart attack.
Was it?
Yeah, heart failure. 46. Fuck, man.
Major, but we start off the show with major bummer deaths.
Yeah, we would get pulled by YouTube, right? If we did that, we played it for sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. We won't play it. We won't play it. Let's just shout out to Craig Mack.
You know what you could do? You could play like someone else who did their version of it.
Yeah, but even then you probably get there. He is.
Yeah.
Oh, Biggie's in it.
No, this is the. Yeah, no. With Notorious, LL, and Busta Bus.
No shit. Yeah, don't put that up on YouTube. Has it already been up? Okay, good. Everybody's dying. 46.
Everyone's dead.
46 is so young to have a fucking heart attack.
Hard stuff.
Yeah.
That's everybody. I guess I should have just guessed. Hard shit.
Well, especially in this day and age, the way people eat, it's terrible.
But was he that heavy of a dude?
I don't think you have to be that heavy of a dude to
No.
have clogged arteries.
But then there's super, super heavy dudes that just nothing phases them.
Yeah, there's some guys that just keep on trucking.
That's like from Chicago, where I'm from. That's everybody I know.
Oh yeah.
Nobody skinny is offensive.
Well, not only that, it gets 0 degrees all day long
Yeah.
for fucking 4 months.
Yeah, you need the padding.
You need something.
You need somewhere to hide all that sadness. You just shove it underneath all
The
that
sky
fat.
is gray. You hear bullets from the south side.
That's what when I got in a little bit of shape and I went back to Chicago, I caught like so much shit for that from everybody.
You sell out.
Mr. Hollywood.
Well, you look at you, looking lean.
Eating well.
What, you eating avocados?
You
and
caring
shit?
about your future.
What does it say, Jamie?
46.
No cause of death was immediately released. He had been ill for a while.
See, that's what I saw. I saw they didn't figure it out yet.
Oh, I saw something on. Yeah, see, that's the problem when someone dies.
Internet.
You get a bunch of different versions of the story. I went down an internet rabbit hole last night, man. It's a very disturbing one.
It's related breaking story right now.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's two breaking stories in the MMA world right now. I'll go with this one since you're talking about it.
Anderson Silva fails out of UFC Shanghai main event. Makes sense. He's 40. What did he fail for? Did it
doesn't
say?
say it a sample B test that failed from an October 26th collection.
Huh.
So it was a couple weeks ago.
That's interesting. From a sample B test.
Sorry, I didn't say sample. It just says sample collected.
Oh, okay.
It didn't say the actual drug.
Because they don't test sample B unless sample A is. Well, I'm not surprised.
This is the other thing going on right now.
Conor McGregor jumps the cage at Bellator 187, confronts referee Mark Goddard. Oh. Yeah, I heard about that. Definitely don't do that. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I don't know why he did that. Yeah, you like that though. Look, the wrestling.
I'm already booking the main event.
How do you have time for that wrestling stuff?
I just make time.
You just make time because you enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.